We are going to discuss the control settings required for SPL screening. The control settings required for SPL screening, and that's the last configuration what we have to consider under SPL screening. So control settings for SPL screening process, and once we finish this, we will discuss the master data requirements, the master data setup required for the SPL screening process. Okay, before 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 I start explaining this concept, I wanted to ask a question. In SAP GTS, for each and every application area in SAP GTS, for each and every application area, at what level we define the control settings? Yes, that means in SAP GTS, for each and every application area, we define or we maintain control settings at the legal regulation level. That is what we already did for embargo, and that is what we have to do it for SPL today, or even that is what we will be doing for legal control, import and export, or letter of credit, or customs process. Whatever it is the module or whatever it is the application area, in SAP GTS, we define control settings at legal regulation level. Okay. So now, if you go to control settings of any legal regulation, whichever you would like to do. So what control settings you are supposed to maintain, or what control settings you are supposed to maintain at the legal regulation level. So the first configuration setting, Chandar, what is the message? Okay, I just mute everyone, Ravi. Thank you. And Chandar, what is the message you are getting? No, I just log in, right? Can you try again? No, I just log in. I just log in 1 minute back, or about 2 minutes back. Can you try now? Oh. So are you still having the problem, Chandar? So can any other team member try it for 1 minute? Maybe any other member? Okay, thank you, Pannappa. Are anybody else? Just for make sure that whether problem is for Chandar or for everybody. Okay. Chandar, I think you have some issue from your side. Maybe you can check your internet settings or what. Maybe I'm not exactly sure what it could be. Okay, you can check it later. But we are able to log in, right? Everyone is able to log in, right now. And you, me, that. Uh, okay. Uh, Maybe I will tell them. Okay, I will tell them. Okay. Coming to the control settings, Uh, okay. I have not, started anything, but I am going to start. But anyhow, I will go back and come again. Okay. What the first question? What I was asking you that in SAP GTS at what level we maintain control settings? At what level we maintain the control settings? So every one of you answered that we maintain the control settings in the GTS module at a legal regulation level, and now I'm getting into control settings for SPL screening. So where I'm just selecting one legal regulation, that is EMBAN, and going to the details. Now I'm going to explain what control settings need to be considered, what major control settings need to be discussed in order to understand SPL screening, SPL screening process or SPL verification process. So as part of it, when it comes to the control settings for the SPL screening, first of all, we need to assign control procedure. We need to assign control procedure. We need to create a link with control procedure and the legal regulation. Can any one of you tell me what is this control procedure and where we define? What is this control procedure and where we have defined it? Can any one of you tell me? We spent a very good amount of time yesterday. No. Please, it is not determination procedure. It is control procedure. Here we need to assign control procedure. What is this control procedure? Where we have defined it, and what kind of mechanism is included in the control procedure. Okay, I will go back and show you something so that you can remind. So what is this? Configuration? Can anyone tell me what is this configuration? For what purpose it is? Ah, what we do, or why do we need to define that control procedure? With examples. To how the system. Okay, let's tell me, Siddharth, right? Okay, tell me, Siddharth. Not uh, no, not exactly. Not exactly. Anybody else? Ah, yes. Because when it comes to the SPL screening, in general, what we do as part of SPL screening, we do the screening or we do the validation of business partner address details against SPL member address details. What is SPL screening? SPL screening is the validation of business partner details with or validation of the business partner details, name and address details against SPL member details. So here, when it comes to the business partner address details, there are n number of details. There may be 20 or 30 or 40 address details, but you do not need to tell the system compare all these 40 details with SPL member details. Maybe you required like 4 details or 5 details, or max 6 details or 7 details, like name, country, city, street or state, or maybe for passport number or zip code. So like this, you may be requiring very limited number of address fields. So whatever the fields you would like to take into consideration, whatever the fields you would like to consider for the screening process, for the validation process, those fields you define under the control procedure. Now everybody remember? Now everybody is able to recollect what we discussed yesterday? So we specify all those address fields in the control procedure, and this control procedure, whatever the control procedure you define here, this control procedure need to be assigned to the control settings of SPL scanning. Whenever you are maintaining control settings for any of the application area, so here you need to assign whatever the control procedure which you need for our screening process. What you can do, you can assign, okay, that control procedure here. That is the first configuration. And then as usual, we need to specify what is the partner group relevant for SPL scanning as part of export, and what is the partner group relevant for SPL scanning as part of import. So that is what we need to do in the second level. The first level, we need to assign the control procedure, whatever you defined in the previous step, and the second level, what you need to do, you have to assign the partner groups for the export screening process and the partner group for the import screening process. And apart from this, there are other settings, there are other control settings what we have to take into consideration. So that is considering the validity. So as you know that SPL member is having the validity. Am I correct? Each and every SPL member is having the validity. I mean to say that, do you think that a member is restricted forever or maybe for some time? What's your opinion? So if Venkat is under the SPL list, do you think that Venkat is under that list forever or for maybe some time? It can be two ways. Venkat can be forever. Venkat can be under SPL list, or Venkat can be under blocker list forever, or for some specific period. So if a member is under the specific period, so you have a facility in the configuration of the control settings, whether you wanted to consider the valid from date of SPL member, whether you wanted to consider valid to date of SPL member, or whether you wanted to consider valid from and valid to of the SPL member for screening process, or you don't want to consider valid from and valid to, so as part of your screening. So that kind of validation can be specified as part of maintaining the control settings for SPL screening. That is the consideration of the validity for the SPL members. And then set a deletion indicator according to the official validity. For example, if you want to put deletion indicator to the SPL members whenever the validity is expired, let us say the validity is already expired. The validity, the restriction on a particular SPL member is already expired. Then if you would like to give a deletion indicator to the respective record, then what you can do, you can make a configuration that set the deletion indicator whenever the validity is completed. Whenever the validity is expired, then the system need to put a deletion indicator to the SPL members, so that the system will not consider those SPL members for the screening process. And the next thing is including the master record for deletion. For example, as you know that in our business process, there may be different people, there may be different business partners who are having flagger for deletion. I think many of you are aware of that. You can give a deletion indicator to your customer, or you can give a deletion indicator to the vendor, or you can give a deletion indicator to the respective master records. So whenever if any master record is flagged for the deletion, you can tell the system whether you wanted to include those master records, for SPL screening process, or you don't want to include those master records for the screening process. That's what we can do. That you can tell the system whether you would like to include the master records which are having the deletion indicator, or you wanted to exclude the master records which are flagged for the deletion. If you don't give the check mark for that configuration, that means the system should exclude all the master records which are having the deletion indicator from the SPL screening process. And then excluding the expired address. If any business partner address is expired, if you want to exclude those expired address, if you want to exclude your business partner expired address, then what we can do, you can give a check mark to the configuration so that system will exclude all expired addresses for the SPL screening process. So the previous one is including the master records. If you want to include the master records flagged which are having the flagged for deletion, you can give the check mark. Otherwise, you can ignore that check mark. And the next thing is excluding the expired address. If any address is expired, if you don't want to consider, if you don't want to include those things, what you can do, you can activate the configuration that is excluding the expired address. And next one is take past check results into the account. Can anyone guess what it is? Take past check results into the account. Can anyone guess? Let us say, for example, correct Ravi. For example, today morning system has performed SPL screening. Today morning system has performed SPL screening. Okay? And tomorrow, okay, as part of today's screening, system found that Venkat under the blocked list. Okay? And again system is doing the screening tomorrow one more time for all the, as part of periodical screening, system is doing the screening one more time. So when the system is doing the screening one more time, whether you want to consider the Venkat's block default without an additional screening, or you want to do it screening one more time. So that controls by this configuration. For example, if you don't want the system to do the screening one more time for all the blocked members, then what you can do, you can activate this configuration. If you activate this configuration, that is take past check results into account, then if once a member becomes the block under the blocked list, the system keep considering that member as a blocked member forever and ever. So that is the reason, if you have that kind of facility, or if you have that kind of requirement, then what you can do, you can activate the configuration that is take past check results into the account. And the next one is multiple address check active. Multiple addresses check active means, for example, your business partner is having different addresses. If you maintain different addresses for your business partners, whether you wanted to consider all addresses of your business partner, whether you wanted to consider all addresses of your business partners for SPL screening or not. So these are the major important configurations what we can consider as part of control settings for the SPL screening. And apart from this, the other major things are, so here, notification. Is everybody able to see notification? So this is a configuration which is very important for every client. So that is sending the email whenever a document is blocked, whenever a transaction is blocked, whenever a custom document is blocked, or sending the email whenever a business partner is blocked. So that means, for example, as part of screening, if system blocks a custom transaction, then if your users would like to receive an automatic notification whenever a transaction is blocked for SPL screening, or whenever a business partner is blocked for SPL screening, if your client would like to receive an automatic email notification, then what you need to do, you have to activate this configuration. You have to activate this configuration. And also, whenever you want to generate an email notification when your business partner is blocked for the SPL screening, then what you can do, then you can activate the next configuration, that is send email when the business partner is blocked. And apart from this, the other two important settings are reason for the release. Reason for the release. Reason for the release means, I hope when I was explaining embargo screening, when removing the block, I was talking about, okay, when removing a block, what are the different possibilities? What are the different options given by SAP? Whenever you are removing the block, what are the different options given by? Hmm. Excellent. That means you can specify, your users can specify a reason, or your users can specify a reason and the comment, or neither reason nor comment, or the only comment. So that whatever you need, whether your client need a reason, whether your client need a reason and comment, you will be collecting those details as part of your requirements gathering. Whenever you are collecting the requirements gathering in the, like, as part of workshops in the blueprint stage, then what you will ask, you need to ask your client, okay, so do you want to make, what kind of restriction you want to make for releasing the block? You can have a question to your you can have a question to your clients, to your business process owners, when your users are removing the SPL blocks, so what kind of restriction or what kind of options you would like to see, what kind of options you would like to consider. You can ask that question. Then your client can say, then your client can inform you, okay, we would like to make sure that our users need to enter, we would like to make sure that our users need to enter reason while removing the block, or they can say, no, we need both reason and the comment, or they can say, no, we don't need the reason, we don't need the comment, simply our users can release the blocks. So according to the client requirement, whatever you are collecting from your business that is requirements gathering, so that thing you can specify. Hello. Okay. Yes, Vikas. Yes, Vikas. Okay. How the system knows to which user it needs to send the notification? Okay. I think you are not part of that. Okay, let me show you. Okay, I'm going back. I will come back to this configuration one more time, or else let me finish it. I will show you. Okay, let me finish it. Can anyone of you tell me? I already explained one time. Can anyone of you tell me? Can anyone of you tell me what additional configuration we need to do? What additional settings need to be done apart from this activation? Ah, excellent. Excellent. So first thing is we need to activate the configuration, and then we need to go to the GTS area menu. We need to go to the GTS area menu, and here as part of system communication, okay, so here you need to create the user groups. You need to maintain the user groups. When you are maintaining the user groups, what you do, you specify the list of users. So under the user group 7, you are having 4 users, and each and every user will be having user email ID associated, right? You know that, Vikas, right? Mm. Okay. Okay, I will show you. I will show you. If you go to the GTS area menu one more time. So once you specify the user groups, okay, once you specify the user groups, go to the system communication. So here you will tell the system notification control for the blocked documents. If you go here, here you tell the system for which legal regulation, okay, and for which foreign-trade organization. So whenever a document is blocked, whenever a document is having the SPL block, which is relevant for this foreign trade organization and this legal regulation, then the system will send an email to the users who are under the user groups ZSMK. And in other case, whenever a document is blocked, whenever a document is which is associated, whenever a custom document which is associated with FTO 3000 and the legal regulation DULRI, then the system will send an email notification to the list of users available under the user group Power User 4. So this way the system can understand, or the system can send email notification to the list of the user. Is that your question? Because no problem. I'm going back to the configuration SPRO. Okay. Uh, uh, okay. Actually, unfortunately, like ECC, like SD, like I understood your question. Generally, when you are doing an implementation, when you are like doing conducting the workshops for SD module, MM module, SAP itself has provided some SD questionnaire, the standard questionnaire, question and answer database, that is questionnaire for collecting the requirements from the clients. But unfortunately for GTS, SAP itself has not provided any question and answers. But what I can suggest you, okay, you can prepare yourself. You can prepare. Okay, Ravi. Let me find it. I will add that part to like in our all other documents like reports, programs, enhancements. So then as, like function modules. As part of that, I will try to add that list. Okay. Okay, sure. And if you go to the like configuration back, so here, so this is the for email notification, and here you can specify the reason, whether you need the reason, whether you need the comment, or whether you need whatever it is. So this way, these are the main control settings what you have to specify for SPL screening process. And apart from this, there are two more important things what you have to consider: list type and the reference type. The different configuration of the list type. Let me go back to our what is the previous one which we configure? EMBUN, right? So the list type and reference type, these are the two things what you have to consider. So now we need to know what is the list type and we need to know what is the reference type. So now tell me, what is SPL, who is SPL member, or what is SPL list? What is SPL list? Okay, list of blocked member. Simple, in simple words, list of bad members, list of blocked members, right? Okay. Do you think, I already explained, do you think all these list of members belongs to the same category? Let us say there are 10,000 bad members. 10,000 bad members. Do you think or do you assume that these 10,000 belongs to the same category? That is the same terrorists or same Naxalites or militants? Do you think like that, or what do you? All are belongs to same category or different category? Yes, it may not be. That means they may belongs to different categories. They may belongs to different categories. So whatever the category your SPL members belongs to, whatever the category, your SPL members belongs to, those categories need to be defined in the configuration under the list type. The list type is nothing but the list type 1. One kind of list type is militant. The other kind of list type is terrorist. The other kind of list type is Ukrainian rebel. The other kind of list type is Russian rebel. The other kind of list type is Naxalite. Another kind of list type is traffickers or nuclear proliferator. So like this, what are all the different list types or what are all the different categories your SPL members belongs to, all those categories need to be maintained as a list type in the SPL configuration. Everybody understood? For example, if your SPL list which is going to be provided by the data providers belongs to 10 different categories, all those 10 different categories need to be maintained, need to be defined as the list types in the GTS module. So that is what we have to do. Okay? You can say Z militants so like this you can configure, like for example you can say Z terrorist, so like this you can configure different list types in the GTS SPL screening process. And what is the reference type? So basically reference type means sometimes in international trade all these the terrorists whoever it is, they keep changing their names. They keep changing their names and trying to participate in the international trade with different names, with a different alias names. So alias means, for example, like you can put in this way, basically I can give you this example. You can say there are two different things. People can change their names, or people can behave. People can also known as like different ways. That means, for example, Venkat. Venkat is also known as GV Rao. So Venkat, actually he is Venkat, but he is also known as GV Rao. So the GV Rao is a reference for Venkat. GV Rao is a reference type for Venkat. That is for also known as. Also known as is one of the reference type. Also known as, or else you can say Ravi is also known as Ravi Kumar or something else. So like that, in SAP GTS SPL screening, you are having a requirement of defining the reference type. You are having a requirement of defining the reference type. Like what are the different reference types? Also known as, the Venkat is also known as GV Rao. Or the other kind of reference type is, the other type of reference type is doing business as. So basically Venkat is like an SAP GTS business process analyst, but is doing business as. Venkat is basically SAP GTS business analyst, but he is doing business as SAP GTS trainer. So like that you can define different reference types, also known as, or you can define the reference type doing business as DBA or AKA. So like that what you can do, you can define whatever the reference types you need, also known as AKA, that is also known as, or you can also define one more reference type, that is DBA, doing business as. So these things are required, doing business as. Okay, like this you can define the reference type. I will tell you why do we need this reference type. I will show you in few minutes. So like this, these are all the configuration control settings for the SPL screening scenarios. These are all the configuration control settings or control settings which you have to define for SPL screening scenarios at each and every legal regulation level. So, like I am just repeat one more time the configurations, all the configurations what you have to consider. So, assigning the determination procedure for active legal regulation, and then activating the legal regulation, and then defining the control procedure for address comparison, and finally we need to define control settings for SPL screening process at the legal regulation level. So these are the configuration control settings what we have to consider for SPL screening. This is what we discussed yesterday and as in the today's class. So now we are going to discuss the master data requirements. So that is, what is the procedure? The master data setup for SPL screening includes the master data setup for SPL screening includes, that is, okay, how to maintain SPL member manually, like individually. Whenever you have a requirement, like to define SPL member, how to do that. In the similar way, you need to know how to load SPL list using the XML file. So these are the two things what we will do as part of master data requirement. So here, this is the transaction for defining SPL list manually. So in order to maintain the SPL list manually, you, like individual member, there are two ways. You can define SPL member manually whenever it is required, or you can upload the huge list, the big list, using the XML file. So it is the mechanism which you need to follow whenever you receive the XML file with all the list of SPL members from the data providers, and also whenever you know that only one member is required to define, you do not have any list in place, is ready, but you know that there is one member to whom you wanted to add to the SPL list. In that case, you can follow this mechanism. Create the SPL list, and when you are creating the SPL list, you have to specify under which legal regulation you are going to create this SPL member, and also you need to specify what is the list type. You wanted to consider. And then you can also specify who is the data provider. Gives this information. Who is the data provider? Gives this information stating that this member is under the SPL list. So like that, what you can do, you can specify the legal regulation and list type, and also you can specify the data provider, and then you can specify SPL member name or SPL number details, so that you can say the SPL number is 234590 or 234591, and then you can specify, as I already told you, from what period to what period this SPL member is under the SPL list. From what period to till what period this member is under SPL list. That's what you have to specify. That is valid from and the valid to. You can specify forever, or you can specify for a specific period, whatever it is. Okay, and also you can specify whether this SPL member is a person or whether this SPL member is an organization. That also you can specify. And apart from this, what you can specify, so this is what I am talking. Reference type. if you want to specify any reference type, if you want to specify any reference type that is also known as or doing business as, you can select here. So that is the reason we did the configuration. If you don't do the configuration in the SPRO, that will not be available here. So that reference type you can specify here, and then you can specify the name of the SPL member, name of the SPL member, and then whatever the details you wanted to specify, you can specify those details. So once you specify the details here, you have to enter the address details of the business partner. You have to specify. See that. Sridhar, tell me, Sridhar. Hello, Sridhar, I can hear you. No, I have whatever the number we can give. Okay, whatever the number you would like to give, that whatever the number you would like to give, that can be given by us. I have given my own number. Whatever the number you would like to give, that number. See, before it's not defined. I gave the new number. I gave the new number to the SPL, and I defined the name and address details for the business partner. I define the name and address details for the SPL member. So whatever the information you would like to add, you can add all those information to this SPL member, and then you can save the SPL record. Then the system creates an SPL record in the system. So let me save the SPL. So this way you can create an SPL member manually. As I already told you, there are two ways to create, to define or to maintain SPL member in the GTA system. One is maintaining the individual member manually. That is the way how you create the customers manually, or the way how you create vendors manually. And apart from that, we also have yes, I will tell you. Okay. Basically, sometimes all of a sudden they don't provide the list. Okay. In general, you will be receiving the updated list, right? You will be receiving the updated list, and also you will be you keep receiving the SPL list XML file from the data providers. So once you receive these files, XML files, you can upload it. Or in between, if you come to know, or if your data providers, for one or two members, for one or two members, they may not provide the list, or it's not good to to upload everything, right? To upload the whole thing. So that's the reason whenever they come to know that exceptional cases, that one or two members, or whenever you wanted to add something on your own to any member which you are familiar, in those situations you will be using the manual creation of the SPL member. Got it? Okay. And the next thing is what is it, Vishnu? So you mean, okay, you mean to say that you wanted to use doing business as, and also you wanted to use also known as, like that? The only one time you can specify. That's the only option given by the SAP. One level, we can have only one level of, like, also known as information for each and every SPL member. And the next important thing is loading the sanction party list, loading the SPL members using the XML file. So here, when you are loading SPL list, when you are loading the SPL data, SPL master data using the XML file, okay, here what you need to do, this is very important. So here, as usual, you have to specify under which legal regulation you would like to upload this SPL master data to the GTS system, and also you need to specify what is the different type of list, what are the different type of list your file is going to be considered. That means if your uploading file contains 5 different set of categories, 5 different set of list types: terrorists, militants, traffickers, nuclear proliferators, or Russian rebels, or Naxalites, then you need to specify all those 5 list types here. If your XML file contains 10 list types, you need to specify all the 10 list types here. So that is what we need to specify under the type of list. And then, as data provider, you need to tell the system which data provider has provided this SPL list. Whatever the XML file you are going to upload, you need to tell the system who has provided that XML file. And then there are 2 ways, again, as part of automatic upload, as part of upload process, there are 2 ways to maintain or to upload SPL members. Can anyone tell me? I already explained, I think yesterday, day before yesterday. What is it? Path for XML file front end or path for XML file application server? What are these 2 things, and which scenario I can use the front end, which scenario I can use the application server? So that is, for example, for an instance, if data provider send you the XML file, the SPL list, using interface, like, if they are able to send or push the data directly to your GTS system, then you can use the second option, that is path for XML file, using the application server. That means whenever your GTS system and your data provider system, MK data system or FedEx system, connected to each other, what they can do the FTP process to push the data, to push the file directly to your GTS system. They can push the file directly to your GTS system. Whenever they push the file to your GTS system, what will happen? That will be available, the pushed file or the FTP file available under A11. That is, A11 is the transaction code for accessing application server or SAP directories or the file server. So once the data is available there, then what you can do, when you click here, when you click the F4 option, it will directly take you to the application server. You can able to see file list on the application server. So here you will be knowing the file name, whatever the file name it is, you can specify the file name and execute the transaction. So this is the mechanism, this is the method, this is the procedure which you need to follow whenever your data providers are able to send that file automatically to your SAP GTS system, But whereas sometimes, Sridhar. No, here, okay. No. Actually, uh, the XML files what you are receiving from the data providers are compatible with our GTS uploading process. You do not need, nobody is going to do nothing. Nobody is going to do anything. Okay. That means the XML files provided by FedEx or the XML files provided by MK Data are compatible with our SAP GTS uploading process, because the XML files are designed in such a way to accept by the GTS module. We do not do any mapping or field mapping. We do not need to do any kind of thing. Whether it is the development ABAPer or functional consultant need not to be do any kind of mapping for accepting the system. We do not need to do anything. Okay. SAP system itself, SAP system. Okay, tell me. That's what I'm telling. I can give one more explanation. That is, these XML files are standard. These XML files are standard universally. Okay, all over the world, whatever the XML the files provided by the data providers are standard. Because of that reason, our SAP GTS system was developed such a way to accept those XML files automatically without any manual intervention. So that is the beauty of SAP GTS. Not only for this, that is the beautiness of SAP GTS. SAP GTS was developed in such a way to accept everything without any manual intervention by the functional consultant or the developers in many of the cases. Not this is the example. This is the case not only for SPL. This is the same case for uploading the ECCN numbers or uploading the ICCN numbers. Whatever it is, for all the cases, our SAP GTS is enabled to accept, to allow whatever the data given by the data provider or the government agency. Okay. Yes. For example, if the file, whatever received by them, like the list type is not correct or the something is not correct, you can see, are able to see save log. Okay. So when you execute it, all the errors will be come across. So all the errors will be displayed after completing the uploading process. So whatever the record is good, that will be uploaded as SPL member. All the errors will be stopped. All the errors will not be allowed to create the records in the system. Then you can inform to the data providers stating that these are the records which you are not able to, which our system is not able to accept. Please correct it and send the correct data. Then they will be sending the new file with all the correct details of the correct information. No problem. Okay, actually, this XML file, I have some limitations to send it, but I have XML files for what is that ECCN commodity course. So the sample XML files I can provide to them for the commodity course and HTS course. Okay, I can provide for those. No problem. Okay, and this is for upload, like using the application server. And whereas if your client received the XML files using an email, using the email communication, then what you can do, you can use this option. You can store that XML file in your local computer, not in the GTS, in your local computer, and you can specify whatever the file it is. For example, let us say if this is the file, you can specify like this, and you can start executing the uploading process. So these are the two different ways. These are the two different ways which you can use for uploading the XML file for the SPL member. Okay, this is for automatic uploading process. And then if I go back to, apart from this, if I go back to the logistics area, so we need to also consider these things: simulation, and what is this audit trial, and what are these monitoring transactions. So these are the other important things which we need to consider before we complete the SPL screening application area. So simulation. Can anyone guess what is the importance of simulation in SPL screening process? Why it is having so much importance? I'm telling you that it is having so much importance. There is much importance to the simulation in the SPL screening process. Why is it so? Because okay, I think I missed out one configuration. Okay, in order to explain this, I have to go back. I think okay, let me go to SPRO. One setting or one field, I missed out. Okay, let me go back. Global Trade Services, Compliance Management, SPL Screening, Control, Define Control Process. So are you able to see the here match rate? Match rate. Can you guess what is this match rate? 80% or 90% or 100%? What is this match rate?
Match with address.
Yes, match with the S. Okay. Tell me. Address. Okay. Actually, this server access is also having transportation management and financial supply chain management as well. Okay. I know it doesn't. It depends on the client. It's purely dependent on the client. Okay. It's because this server provider provided this option, but in your real client, you may not see FSCM, you may not see transportation, or you can also see CRM, or you can also see SRM as well. That's up to your client. Hello. Okay. Okay. So basically, in SAP, okay, is it? I think I just want to repeat. Santosh is asking a question. You can see transportation module in our system. He's asking, is it mandatory for a GTS or it just how it works? It is basically the server provider whoever has provided this server access. He just added this module to here. But in the real situation, it depends on your client. If your client would like to add, they can add or something else, or they can remove something else. That's up to your client. Okay. That's the question asked by Santosh. Now I'm going back to the match percentage. So when you are maintaining the SPL control setting, configuration settings, you have an option to specify what is the match rate, what is the match percentage to block the transaction. Whether you want to block a business partner, if the business partner details are matching with SPL member 80%, or whether you would like to block the business partner if your business partner details are matching with SPL member to the 90% or 60% or 50%. That's up to your clients. So if you say 50%, what is the negative point? Or if you say 100%, what is the what are the advantages and disadvantages of specifying the 50% or 90% or 100%? Can you guess? So basically, I can repeat the configuration. I can repeat one more time. In SAP GTS, we have an option to specify what percentage you would like to consider before blocking the transaction. So that means if business partner details, if business partner details are matching with, SPL members to 50%, whether you want to block it, or if the business partner details are matching with SPL members matching 90%, you want to block it. So what are the disadvantages if I specify less percentage? More blocks, right? There will be more blocks. If I just specify 50%, then what happens? For example, Venkat is there. Okay. There is a member in SPL list, Venkat. Venkat is a bad member. And your business partners like Venkat Rao or Venkat Reddy or Venkat Srinivas or Venkat Suresh, there are many people. So what happens if you specify 50%, all these members will be blocked. Am I correct? Why? Because the 50% of name is already matching with SPL member. Am I correct? Hello? If I specify just 50%, then there will be unnecessary blocks or more blocks. Am I correct? Hello? Okay. Let me put in this way. Let me explain all. 50% you will be getting more blocks, and when you say 100%, what is the disadvantage? So sometimes you will miss the some related people. Sometimes the people change their names, or sometimes we will miss the opportunity to find out the real people. So because of the reason, the best practice is use or specify 80%. The best practice suggested by SAP to specify 80%. When you specify the 80% match rate, then there will be approximate. Even then it will not be 100% exact validation or exact SPL scanning, but at least the system will give the approximate results. So then what you can do? You can do the manual mechanism. That is the reason I told you the GTS users are keep checking all the blocks, all SPL blocks, and they verify whether these blocks are valid blocks or invalid blocks. They verify, and if it is valid block, they confirm the block. If that is the inappropriate block or incorrect block, what the GTS users can do? If the GTS users find out as part of monitoring, if the GTS users find any inappropriate block or incorrect block, what they can do? They can release the block. So that is the background. That is the background required in order to understand, okay, the simulation process. I am going back to the simulation process. SPL screening, simulation. So basically, if you don't do the simulation, let us say you don't do the simulation and you directly do the screening, what is the disadvantages once the system put inappropriate block, or once the system put inappropriate incorrect blocks to the transactions or the business partners? What is the disadvantage? You need to spend more time. Yes, you need to spend more time to monitor, right? You need to spend more time to release the block, and even for the releasing the block, you need more approvals. Am I correct? Even for removing the blocks, you need more approvals. You need to get the management approval to remove the blocks. There is very lengthy process. If there will be so much lengthy process if the system put any inappropriate blocks or whatever it is. So because of this reason, what SAP suggests, you can do the simulation in advance. Okay, and based on the simulation, you can add those members. You can if you find any good member as part of simulation, if you find that system is putting the block to the good member, then what you can do, you can add that member to the positive list. You can add that member to the positive list. So once you add that member to the positive list, that means good list. What will happen? Whenever the system is performing the SPL scanning, then the system will not take into consideration of that positive list for the SPL scanning. So these kind of benefits are available. These kind of benefits are available, okay, using the simulation process. So that is the reason SAP provided. If anybody would like to do the simulation, they can do the simulation and they can find the results, and according to the simulation results, they can take an action. Chandar. The GTS compliance coordinators. GTS compliance coordinators. GTS compliance coordination team keep monitoring all the blocked transactions or the simulation transactions or all the blocked business partners, whatever it is. Okay, that is the purpose of simulation. And then audit trial. Audit trial means at any point of time, at any point of hello, Santosh. Uh, so basically, okay, basically what happens? So whenever, for example, if you go to the all the blocked members, so for example, okay, if for example this is the member who is having the block, okay, if you want to add this member to the positive list, you can go and put here. So once you click on select the business partner and click on the put into the positive list, then the business partner will be added to the positive list. You can say physical verification has been done and blah blah blah, and you can say save this. So like this, whenever you would like to add any member to the positive list, you can add all those members to the positive list, or at the same time you have an option to add a business partner to the negative list as well. There are different options. You can add a member to the positive list, you can add a member to the negative list, or you can confirm the block, or you can release the blocks, okay, whatever the block you wanted to remove. Like that you can make an option you can have a mechanism to make the person into the positive list. Okay, Santosh? No. Once okay, once the members are available in the positive list, for example, if you add a member to the positive list, so then the system will not perform any kind of screening for all these positive list of members. If once the member is in the positive list, the system will not consider any kind of, okay, any kind of validation, any kind of screening for this positive member, or will not apply any block for the future checking process. In the future checking process, system will not apply any kind of block. So yes, correct. Select positive list or negative list, or release the business partner, or confirm the block. Okay. So and then audit means basically audit trail is for the management. You know that we are removing. You already having an understanding that we can remove the blocks, we can add the people to the positive list, or you can add the people to the negative list. There are different activities what we are doing. At any point of time, if your management would like to, okay, see the like the whole activity, what their users are doing, whether their users are doing the correct process, following the correct process, or doing the bad things or good things. So those kind of things can be verified using the audit trail. So if they wanted to verify all the business partner block removals, they can use display audit trail for the business partners. If they wanted to validate all the block removal for the transactional data, they can verify that display audit trail for the documents. That is for the only audit purpose. That is for the audit purpose. And finally, the last part what we need to consider. So that is monitoring. What I explained yesterday, monitoring. What is that monitoring option? Yes, correct, Ravi. Whatever the transaction is available under the monitoring, whatever the transactions, whatever all the transactions are available under the monitoring, those are nothing but the reports, SAP GTS reports. So here we have different reports. The one report is displaying the blocked business partner. The other report is display the list of positive business partners, or display the list of negative, or else display negative list of business partners, or display positive list of business partner, or display blocked business partners. These are the three reports available from the business partner perspective in the SPL screening process. And in the similar way, for transactional data perspective, the system can display list of blocked documents. The system can display list of blocked documents, and also the system can display technically incomplete documents. Blocked documents, maybe it's direct. I may not need to much explain. I don't need to explain much. And what is this technically incomplete documents? I think I already explained, right? Technically incomplete document. When a document is under technical incomplete, when a custom document is under the technical incomplete. Answer: when a custom document is under technical incomplete. No, Kumar. No, I already explained, I think.
Maybe if the document has missing everything like a number or something.
No, 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 no. I think I explained, right? At least one of you should tell me. Yes, yes. I will repeat it. I will repeat. Okay. For example, whenever you create a sales order and transport to the GTS, once the sales order transfer to the GTS, by the time of creating the custom document, by the time of GTS system creating the custom document for the sales order, by the time, if GTS system will not find out an associated organizational unit for the ECC organization, or if the GTS system will not find out an associated business partner for the customer in the sales order, or if the GTS system will not find out associated custom product for the material in the sales order, or if the GTS system will not find out business partner and then material master and then organizational units. Correct. So when the GTS system is not able to find out the organizational units, or when the GTS system is not able to find out associated business partner or associated custom product, in all those cases, we consider those documents as a technically incomplete. We consider those documents as a technically incomplete document. If you go to this list, okay, if you take any of the document, if you go to the log, you can see the system was unable to determine the legal unit for the plant. What does it mean? The GTS system was not able to find out an associated organization unit in the GTS for the plant 2500. Like this, you can see all the respective messages. If you go to the other document, the same thing. Okay, let me go to something else. So the same message. So like this, based on the different situation, so here we have something else. So here there are two things. The system was not able to determine the legal unit for the plant of ECC, and also the GT system was not able to find out associated business partner for the customer 126. So these are all kind of things. All those custom documents will be blocked, will be available under technically incomplete. Okay, that is the technical incomplete. And if you want to remove, hello. So you need to, based on the error message, you need to maintain, you need to do the mapping, you need to perform the organizational mapping, or you need to perform the business partner, you need to make sure that the business part record is available, you need to make sure that product is available, or you need to make sure that foreign trade organization, the legal units are available, and then you can transfer one more time. And then you can transfer one more time. Yes, yes. Okay. Okay. And the other thing is, if you want to release the blocked custom documents, if you want to release all the blocked documents, all the blocked custom documents, you can release using this transaction. Using this report transaction, you can release. Using this report transaction, whatever the document you wanted to release, you can select it. You can have a flag, cancel SPL block, yes, and then enter the comment, okay, and then you can save it. So this way what you can do, you can release all the blocker custom documents from the SPL blocks. So this is the transaction for releasing the blocked documents from the SPL block. You can see, like, okay, transfer option, even I am also not familiar, I never used it. I understood you were asking a question, okay. Whenever you are trying to release, this, right? So it is saying that copy comment. Copy comment means, actually I never used it. I'm also not much familiar with this option. Actually, we used to enter the reason and we used to enter the comment and say, like, hit enter, then system automatically uh, uh, yeah, what I'm imagining, that maybe if you have 10, one document will be having different items. If you want to copy that comment for all items, I'm not quite sure, but we never use this. Maybe let me do, like, little more research. Then if I come across, then if I find anything, I will update you. Okay. Okay, no problem. So this way, what you can do, we can remove the blocks for all the documents, and finally, the display all documents. If you want to see all documents, so here you can see the blocked documents, but whereas if you want to see the document which is not blocked or the documents which is blocked, if you want to see all the custom documents, then you can use this report transaction. This is the transaction to display all documents. Blocked documents are not non-blocked documents. Good documents, good custom documents, and bad custom documents. All the custom documents can be seen under the display all documents. So these are the report. These are all the report transactions. These are all the report transactions available under the SPL screening. So this is what we have to consider for SPL screening application area. So the business process, system process, configuration, and master data and the reports. So this is the whole explanation or a whole part what we have to consider for SPL screening application area. And in the tomorrow's class, hello. Yes, yes. You schedule the background jobs using these programs. You schedule the background jobs. Okay. For example, if you go here, you can find out the program. So using these programs, okay, you create a variant and schedule the background jobs, and you schedule the background jobs at a particular time. Okay, and then system automatically keep performing. System automatically keep doing screening process for all of our transactions. And if you may have a question. So this is the periodical screening, right? B1 and B2, right? What's your question? That is basically okay. Whatever you activated, if you activate all three, if you schedule background jobs for all three, then the system consider everything. You don't need to specify anywhere. It depends on whether you schedule the background jobs or not. Okay. It's not activation. You schedule the background jobs. You schedule the background jobs and schedule the specific times in the jobs. Using the programs, using these programs, using the programs behind these transactions, you go to the SM36, you know, right? For example, if you go SM36 and here you specify the job name and go to the for example test and go to the step, and here you specify the program name, whatever I told you, right? You specify the program name and you can create one variant for this, and then you can save it. Okay. Okay. For that you need to do event based background jobs. Okay. Event based. For example, you know that C1 and C2. What is that updated sanction party list? So the C1 and C2, what happens whenever a list is updated in A11, whenever your data providers, provides okay updated SPL list, automatically when the updated SPL list is available in the A11, then an event will be triggered. To run the background job. Okay, those called event based background jobs. There are two different background jobs in SAP. One is periodical, that's like irrespective of any inputs, it keep doing. Whereas event based means those background jobs will be running only when something happens, when something received. Okay. And this is for today's class. So that is automatically taken care. That for that you do not need any kind of because we do not schedule any background jobs, right? So when we create a sales order like yesterday or day before yesterday, it is automatically transferred to the GTS. You only need to schedule the background jobs, whether it is event based or the periodical. It's only for your B1 and B2 or C1 and C2. For A1 and A2, it is default mechanism given by the SAP. It is default option. Okay. Siddharth. Okay. Actually, I thought I already sent it, right? Configuration file, configuration guide. No? Okay. Now I will send it. No, I will send it by today evening. Okay. By end of the day, I will send you like a configuration guides and the documents. Okay. I thought I already sent. Maybe I missed out. I will send it. Okay. Sure, Chandar. Are you keep getting this message? Okay. Actually, are you still getting this error? Then there is something from your side, Chandar, because everybody is able to connect, right? Okay, anyhow, let me. Okay, Chandar, I will do one thing. Okay, no, no, no. Let me ask a question. Let me ask a question. Is it first time you were trying to access, or you already? It's like since it was already working in the past, but now it's not working, right? But he is not at all able to. Okay. Hello. Hello. Satya, tell me, Satya. I'm not able to get your voice. Can you just send me the mail? Your voice is breaking. Can you just send me the mail? Yes, 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 yes. If you have 10 plants, you should have 10 legal units. If you have 10 foreign terror organizations, you should have 10 foreign terror. If you have 10 company codes, you should have 10 foreign terror organizations. As it is, it should. We should. And thank you. See you tomorrow the same time. Okay? Thank you.